Hey there guys, Spexy here and welcome back to the channel. Later on in the video I shall be taking a look at Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, a game by Atelier and FDG Entertainment, who have kindly granted me access to their game for review purposes. Now this is a fairly new game when all's said and done, so you'll probably be wondering what on earth is this doing on a retro channel. Well, the answer to that is quite a simple one really, so let me explain. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is actually a follow-on to Sega's popular Wonder Boy series of games, and for those of you that may not be familiar with Wonder Boy, I could easily say just one thing. Where the hell have you been living? Under a rock? But I'm not so cruel as to do such a thing, so instead let's take a quick look, shall we? So Wonder Boy was developed by Escape, now known as Westone, for Sega and released in the arcades way back in 1986. It features the aforementioned Wonder Boy, well actually his real name is Tom Tom, as he travels the land in search of his love, Tanya. Tom Tom has to battle his way through 10 different areas, each with 4 stages and a boss battle at the end to contend with. He does however have a number of power-ups to collect to aid him, along with a skateboard to ride on if you can take the pace. It was a fairly popular game back in the day and went on to be ported to almost all of the computers and consoles of the day. It even spawned the Adventure Island franchise for Hudson Soft, who acquired the license from Escape in 1986 to make their own port of the game. However, it was decided during development to change the protagonist from Tom Tom to Takahashi Meijin, named after and modelled on Hudson Soft's then spokesman. But here in the Western world, we will get to know him as Master Higgins. Meanwhile, Sega and Westone carried on the Wonder Boy saga with Wonder Boy in Monsterland in 1987, a game that was set some 11 years after the original plot and saw Tom Tom yet again as the hero of Wonderland. The tranquility and calm of this beautiful kingdom abruptly comes to an end as a giant fire-breathing dragon makes an appearance with hordes of evil minions, transforming the once peace-loving Wonderland into
Monsterland.
This time, Tom Tom, now going by his honoured title of Wonder Boy, must save the day once again with acts of daring do. This time, however, you do get the option to buy and equip items along the way, such as new weapons and armour, adding a slightly RPG-ish element to an otherwise platform romp. So along comes Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair in 1988, and this time you get to play as either Wonder Boy or indeed Wonder Girl, if you're in the mood for some 2-player action. Leave it out. The characters here though are no relation to the Tom Tom and Tanya in the original game, and as such this game is not really a sequel in my eyes. Monster Lair starts as a pretty familiar platform game with clearly recognisable elements from both previous games, with sword and shield wielding side-scrolling platforming, but on top of all of that, it throws in a rather heavy dose of unnecessary shoot-'em-up action. Now don't get me wrong here, there's no mistaking this game for anything other than a Wonder Boy title, but it is by far my least favourite of the bunch, as I don't find the shoot-'em-up stages add anything to the value of the gameplay. But maybe that's just me. Then in 1989, and as if to prove my previous point, Sega went on alone, with no involvement from Westone this time, to release Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap. But wait, didn't we just have Wonder Boy 3? Well yes we did, but it appears that Sega shared some of my views on that particular venture and decided to ignore its existence by making their own Wonder Boy 3. The Dragon's Trap is the first in the series not to hit the arcades, only getting console releases. It is, however, a direct sequel to Monsterland, starting out with the final events of that game seeing Wonder Boy, Tom Tom, defeat the Mecha Dragon, and in the process being struck by a curse, transforming him into a lizard man. This time the gameplay is more akin to a Metroidvania, which I personally find lends itself perfectly to the franchise. You are free to explore the expansive map, collecting items and defeating bosses along the way to obtain powers and the ability to transform into other creatures, enabling access to otherwise unattainable areas. I remember this game fondly on my Game Gear, and it is undoubtedly one of the best Wonder Boy games of all time, a view which is obviously shared by many fans of the game and which prompted a remake to be made in 2017 by Lizard Cube. Check out my video on my other channel for that. So it's 1991 now, and Westone are once again back on the scene with Sega with Wonder Boy in Monster World, otherwise known as Wonder Boy 5 Monster World 3, which sounds far more like a football result to me. So just what happened to Wonder Boy 4? Well, I guess Westone just counted the joint 3s as 3 and 4. Probably. Monster World takes elements from the Dragon's Trap in as far as it's a Metroidvania again, and does have a look and feel of a Wonder Boy game, and in all it's quite a pleasant romp, starring Shion this time, not TomTom, and seeing him try to defeat the evil Biomecha. And finally in 1994, Westone released Monster World 4, which I guess would have been Wonder Boy 6, Monster World 4. But they simply called it Monster World 4. Thank heavens for that. This time you get to play as Asha, the green-haired girlfriend of the previous Monster World protagonist Shion, in yet another Metroidvania adventure platformer. Asha has all of the normal expected wonder abilities, can collect numerous items and power-ups along the way, but she can also use magic and has a cute bouncy blue pet at her side which can assist her on her quest. I'm sure we're going to see him again. Until making this video, I had never played Monster World 4 before, although it was originally released on Genesis and later on PS3 and Wii Virtual Console and Xbox 360 as part of the Monster World collection, yet somehow that's just seemed to pass me by. I have to say though, I'm pretty impressed with it so far and will have to play it through to the end now that I've started it. So aside from a couple of remakes, namely Wonder Boy Returns by CFK in 2016 and the aforementioned Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Curse by Lizard Cube in 2017, we are all bang up to date. So then, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, and where exactly does this fit into it all? Well, the game was made alongside the creator of the original Wonder Boy and Monster World series, Ryuichi Nishizawa, and borrows heavily from those previous titles. It casts you this time in the role of Jin, a sprightly blue-haired boy who is unwittingly thrown into a world of chaos and adventure by his mischievous uncle and his magic wand.
Oh wow.
Immediately you can tell that this is a Wonder Boy inspired game, that goes without saying. But somehow something didn't feel quite right to me to start with. Maybe I can blame it on my love for pixels, or maybe just my nostalgia for the original series, but the hand-drawn characters and scenery here all felt just a little bit too modern for what is essentially a retro-inspired game. However, I have to admit that it didn't take me long to get used to the new style, and as the game went on I began to really love it, particularly when in pig form. It'd be hard not to appreciate the work and effort that's gone into producing the exquisite animations and designs of not just the player characters, but also the enemies and the backgrounds. Make no mistake, this is a very pretty game, and a colourful one too. It has a few nods to the old games, such as a blue bouncy creature here, clearly the same as Asha's pet in Monster World 4, the eye patch wearing pig as reference to the shopkeepers in Wonder Boy 3, and it even throws in references to all the previous Wonder Boy games on this stained glass window of the church here, a very nice touch. So the controls handle much as you would expect. You run, jump and guide Jin around the world in a Metroidvania fashion once more, revisiting areas with different abilities as you attain them to explore further. It has some neat puzzle elements too, such as crate pushing, torch lighting and switch throwing to add a little more challenge to the mix. There are hidden areas all over the place too, if you know where to look for them, and I am a sucker for hidden areas and treasure in games, so you get a huge thumbs up for that one. As in Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap, you will gain the ability to transform into several different creatures during your quest, and will need to adopt each of these forms strategically to overcome many of the game's obstacles and progress further. So far I have had the pleasure of being a boy, a pig and a snake, and my wife will confirm that is also true in real life. Along with Jin's transformation skills, he is also adept with a shield and sword. In boy mode he can use the shield to deflect projectiles and the sword to... well, that one's pretty obvious, I think. Items such as boots can be found or brought and equipped to assist you, such as the heavy boots here for sinking into water sections and exploring the depths. Just remember you will still need to breathe, so underwater bubbles are essential if you intend to stay down there for any length of time. Level design is good and the maps seem decent in size, with the map screen available at the touch of a button should you find that you get lost or can't quite remember where something was. Defeated enemies will drop either refills of your health or abilities, or coins which can be used in the many shops to buy equipment and potions. The bosses in the game are also well designed, and for those I've fought so far, they seem to provide enough challenge without being overly frustrating. Although these early levels are clearly a little on the easy side, hopefully they will increase in difficulty as the game progresses. A lot of time and a great deal of passion has been put into developing this game, and that is obviously clear to see. It's very interesting that we have had 2 recent Wonder Boy games in the past couple of years, both of them very good games in their own right, and both of them adopting a hand-drawn art style. However, I feel it would be unfair to compare the two, and I could not tell you which is the better game, as I've enjoyed both of them in equal measure. Overall, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is a game that I would wholeheartedly recommend to anyone that liked the original Wonder Boy games, and also to those that maybe haven't played any of them but like a good platform game. It is available on PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One and PC through Steam, so go check it out. So that's it, a complete run through of the history of the Wonder Boy games from the original arcade outing, and a quick review of the latest Wonder Boy related game to be released, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you'd like to show a little extra support to either or both of my channels, you can do so by becoming a patron. Any donations will help the channel to grow and be greatly appreciated. Or maybe you'd just like to buy me a coffee, which you can do on my Ko-fi page. Details on both of these will be in the description below. But even if you can't do either of those things, don't panic. I appreciate you viewing my content and hope to make much more of it for you all going forward. If you did enjoy today's video though, why not spank the hell out of that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more retro goodness. I've been Spexy, you've been wonderful, and I look forward to looking backwards with you again in the next episode. See you soon, bye for now.